Jeffrey Epstein's gal pal and accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell just took subtle aim at Donald Trump, and the schism in MAGA world just got much, much wider. Kind of like Trump's waistline. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. So, if you've been following our channel, and if you haven't, subscribe now, why don't you? You know that the conspiracy theories surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein and his human trafficking ring have cleaved a huge rift in MAGA world. Donald Trump and a number of his appointees, including Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, had promised a full release of files and a client list during their campaigns, only to backtrack on that promise in recent weeks. Of course, that reversal has drawn the ire of many high-profile right-wing nuts who continue to insist a client list exists despite Trump administration denials. But, with the government obfuscating, eyes have fallen to Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, if you have not followed this case in all its grotesquerie, you might be wondering just how Maxwell fits into all of this. Here's a brief rundown.
Ghislaine Noël Marion Maxwell was born in France on Christmas Day in 1961, the ninth and youngest child of Elizabeth and Robert Maxwell, a newspaper baron and member of Parliament. But more about him later. She grew up in Headington Hill Hall in Oxford, a lavish mansion with more than 50 rooms. She went first to Oxford High School. From there, she went to Marlborough College, one of the most expensive public schools in the country. She then studied at Balliol College, Oxford. It's widely reported that Ghislaine was her father's favourite child, hence he named his luxury yacht after her. Well, in November 1992, over a year after her father's death, an article appeared in the Mail on Sunday about how Ghislaine had been spotted getting on a Concorde flight from London to New York. Travelling with her was a greying, plumpish, middle-aged American businessman who managed to avoid the photographers. His name is Jeffrey Epstein, a shadowy, almost maverick New York property developer who for over a year has helped Ghislaine become a coveted fixture on the Manhattan social scene. During the last year, say friends, she has fallen in love with him and the couple are inseparable. Some acquaintances claim that Epstein controlled Maxwell and that he was an incredibly manipulative man. Other reports suggest Maxwell worshipped Epstein, with friends saying Ghislaine thought they might get married one day. However, according to charges filed in New York, Ghislaine Maxwell is now accused of facilitating Epstein's sexual exploitation and abuse of multiple girls from 1994 to 1997. The charges continue. Maxwell assisted and contributed to Jeffrey Epstein's abuse of minor girls by, among other things, helping Epstein to recruit, groom, and ultimately abuse victims known to Maxwell and Epstein to be under the age of 18.
Woman, wouldn't you agree? And just wait until you hear what she has to say about Trump. Keep watching. Now that you're acquainted with Ms. Maxwell, however, you'll be happy to know that she is currently serving a 20-year sentence in New York after a jury convicted her on 5 counts of sex trafficking. Her lawyer is also suing her for almost $900,000 in unpaid legal fees. But how does Donald Trump, who once described Epstein as one of his closest friends and gushed over his taste in young women, seriously, how does Trump fit into all of this? Well, with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel having betrayed their Epstein conspiracy theory base, eyes now fall to Maxwell to spill all the gruesome details about Epstein's sex ring, namely his high-profile clients. Trump's name is often mentioned as a potential name on the Epstein roster, which has only raised more questions about his potential role in all of this. And now Ghislaine Maxwell just made the taco-in-chief break a sweat. Who likes a sweaty taco? The Guardian now reports that Maxwell has told multiple contacts she is ready and willing to testify before Congress regarding Epstein and his clients. Contrary to popular belief, she signed no plea deal that would bar her from speaking about her crimes or her experience with Epstein. And here's the real twist: the Republican Party is blocking her. The Republican Party, of course, controls both houses of Congress right now, and has ultimate subpoena power when it comes to investigations. And Congress can, as the Guardian article correctly points out, launch investigations into just about anything. Previous inquiries have delved into such non-government-related matters as cigarette smoking, the effects of pornography on the human mind, and the Ku Klux Klan. There's no real reason why Congress couldn't launch its own investigation into Epstein, even if just to call Maxwell to testify before the world. Thus, the bigger and better question becomes, why would the GOP not want Maxwell to testify and put this whole situation to rest? I mean, this is the same party that spent years investigating Benghazi and Hillary Clinton's emails, the Whitewater affair, and plenty of other nincompoop issues, and had no problem spending taxpayer dollars to do so. Of course, there is always the possibility that Maxwell might implicate Republican lawmakers in her testimony, in particular, Donald Trump, at which point this whole scandal would take on a very different proportion and essentially turn the administration on itself. Is that what Trump and the GOP are afraid of? Is that why they changed their tune on Epstein? Is that why they won't release all the files that they promised? And perhaps, most importantly to this story, is this why Trump, both in his first and second administrations, has considered pardoning Ms. Maxwell, as journalist Michael Wolff has reported on numerous occasions? Look, I normally don't go for conspiracy theories at all, but there is more to this story, and given what we already do know, it's probably pretty ugly stuff. So how much uglier can Donald Trump get? We will keep you posted on this continuing saga as news continues to develop. Feel free to share your own theories in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. I'm David Reddish.